Hello, Miss Steele here. So this week we are talking about patterns, and for this project we are going to make some snowflakes. Snowflakes are something that have a natural pattern to them, a naturally perfect pattern, and they're found in nature as well, which is pretty cool. So I already have two larger ones that I've cut out here that you can see, and I'm going to show you how to cut out smaller ones or bigger ones. So I'm going to set these aside. For this project you want some paper. I just have this white printer paper. Thinner paper works better for this because it makes it easier to cut. So I have some pieces of paper. You definitely want some scissors. If you're going to draw out your designs before you cut them, you want a pencil and an eraser. I actually have some string. This is optional, so I can string them together at the end. And then if you want to color on your paper to add patterns, you can grab something to color with. And I have this Mr. Sketch. So our first thing, I'm going to add not a pattern to this one, but I'm going to add patterns to my other ones, is we want to make this piece of paper square. So to make this paper square, what we're going to do is we're going to take one corner and we're going to match it up to the top of our paper. So I have my corner and I'm matching it up to the top of my paper. I'm going to hold this down with one hand and then I'm going to press down with my other hand. Now I want to cut off this extra on the end where it is not folded, and then I will end up with a square piece of paper. So we want to fold this paper in half a few times. So you want to bring it corner to corner. We're not going side to side. We're going corner to corner. So there is one corner. And if you have a bigger paper, we can end up making this, instead of being square, we're going to end up making it round. And then I'm going to bring it over again, corner to corner. And then again, corner to corner. Now I could keep it like this if I wanted to. But if I really want to make it look like it has more detail, I could bring this over again. And if you see, I'm just pushing this flap over, and now I have this extra bit at the top, and I'm going to cut this off, and that's going to give me a rounder snowflake. And I'm going to show you how to cut another big one too. So now you could use your pencil if you wanted to draw on your designs. And we're cutting from the edges. We don't want to cut this completely apart. And I think I'm going to give it a little hole in the middle. And then in between, I'm going to try to add some triangles. Here is going to be the top of our snowflake. I'm going to turn the brightness down. And I'm going to make it wavy. You're going to find it's a little hard to cut through these, and practice definitely makes perfect. And now I'm going to start trying to cut on the lines that I drew. Sometimes I don't even like to draw and I just like to start cutting, just because I think it's really fun that way and you don't really know how it's going to come out. And so I'm going to work on getting these shapes cut out of here. So I'm going to keep cutting, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like whenever I open it. I'm trying to keep all my trash together. So I like to keep a good hold on it wherever I'm cutting. Like that. Now I just have these last two. I'm going to show you how to cut smaller snowflakes too, because sometimes those are easier. This is just a bigger snowflake. Sometimes you got to pull it out. And then I have my last little one right here. And like I said, you want to cut from the edge, but you don't want to cut all the way through, because that's going to cut it apart. So you're just cutting along the edge. And now I can unwrap this and unfold it, just kind of like the way I folded it, following along that. And now I have a perfectly patterned snowflake. Beautiful. I'm going to grab my paper again, and I'm going to show you how we can cut a smaller snowflake. So I'm going to cut 2 small ones. So I'm going to take my paper, and I'm actually going to cut it in half. So I folded it so I had that imaginary line. And I'm going to use my markers to add on some pattern to these. But first I want to make these into squares. So again, I'm going to take the edge of my paper, and I'm going to fold it over until I reach the top line. And then I'm going to hold it and squish it. I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. And then I'm going to cut off the excess, and then I'm going to add patterns to these. So I'm just in the mood for that. Because we want them to be square, because that's going to make it easier to fold them and help it look more like a snowflake. So these are smaller than my ones that I've already cut out. My trash is getting everywhere. I'm not doing a very good job of keeping it together. So this is whenever you can color on these and make them colorful snowflakes. Obviously I have just white snowflakes right now, but I'm going to add some patterns onto these. And patterns are anything that, any shape, line, or color that repeats itself. So I'm doing polka dots in blue for this. So you can add whatever kind of pattern you want. We're cutting these and they're turning into patterns too, so it's almost like having a double pattern. So I'm decorating this completely with polka dots, like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, corner to corner, fold it in half, corner to corner again, and then one last time, corner to corner, like that. And now I am going to start cutting out my design. This time I'm not going to draw it, I'm just going to kind of go in. And I want the top to look like a heart, so I'm going to cut it into a heart shape like that. Cute. And again, I'm just going to start cutting out some shapes. I'm cutting from the edges and then leading back to the edge, just like that. Not cutting all the way through it because I want to keep it together. And I like to go back and forth between the two of them. And then I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to have a smaller snowflake. You're going to see it's going to be a little more squared out than the other ones because we didn't do that last fold. Oh my goodness. A little hard to unfold sometimes. You got to be gentle with it because we don't want it to tear. And there we go. There is another snowflake. I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to use this, and I think I'm going to use a lighter blue. And I'm just going to go ahead and add stripes. So my pattern is going to be stripes. You could add whatever kind of pattern you want, using whatever colors you want. Like that. And again, corner to corner, squeezing it down, corner to corner, squeezing it down, corner to corner, squeezing it down. I think I'm going to make this one have like a super intense point to it right here on the edge like that. And like I said, sometimes I like to plan out what I'm doing. Other times I think it's fun just to kind of freestyle. And if one doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. You can try again. So there's that. All right, and now I'm going to unwrap this. And there is another smaller snowflake. So I'm going to show you how to cut out one more big snowflake, and then we will put these on the string I have so we can string them up. I think for this pattern, I'm going to stick with the blues, And I'm going to do stripes and polka dots to kind of pull them together. So my first one had polka dots, my other one had stripes. So I'm going to do a little bit of both. In blue again. Now I'm not going to fill up the whole paper just because I know I'm going to be cutting off a section of it. So I'm going to keep going until I think I'm at a good stopping point, like right here, because we're going to end up cutting off that area anyways. So again, we're going edge to edge. I'm taking the corner of my paper, reaching the top, squishing it down, and then so I did one going all the way up, but again, we're folding it right here, folding it down, and then we are going to cut off the excess like that, and then we're going corner to corner to start, but this is a bigger snowflake, so it's going to be a little bit different. Corner to corner. And then for our last bit, we're actually going to take this corner and bring it over. So instead of going this way, we're going to take it this way. So I folded it in half. 1, corner to corner 2, corner to corner 3. So 3 folds before you take the edge and bring it over like that, and then squish it down nice and tight, and then we're going to cut off this extra top. And now we can start cutting from our paper. You do not want to cut all the way through because we don't want to cut this apart. We just want it to have cuts coming out from the edge. There's a pretty big edge cut. Trying very carefully not to get in the way of my other cuts. Because I do not want to cut all the way through because that'll cut off a piece. And then right there on the bottom, I'm going to cut it off. So now I can undo this and I'll have my last snowflake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all laid out with my yarn and get all my trash cleaned up so we can try to string these together. I found a piece of string. You could easily just have a long piece of paper that you're gluing these onto, but you can take your string through your snowflakes and you can make your own little snowflake banner if you wanted to. So maybe I'll do a large one, and then a small one, and then another large one, like that, small one, and then I could finish out with a large one. And then I could hang this anywhere I wanted to, up on a wall. It could definitely be fun decorations for winter time. But yeah, you can see me holding it up in the corner. You can end up hanging these wherever you'd like. And that is how you cut out snowflakes, which have patterns, and I added some more patterns onto these. I showed you how to cut the smaller ones, cut the bigger ones. I cannot wait to see how yours come out. We're talking about patterns, and this definitely repeats some patterns. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon. Bye.